Eskom company? Huh? What is that? So today we are going to give you information about Eskom company. Please have a seat and enjoy this video.
Prior to the establishment of Eskom, the provision of electricity was mainly dominated by municipalities and private companies. There was a city called Kimberley, and it was one of the first users of public electricity when it installed electric streetlights in 1882 to reduce crime at night. Eskom was founded by a parliamentary act, namely the Electricity Act of 1922, which allowed the Electricity Control Board to appoint Hendrik Johannes van der Bie as the chairman of the board. Eventually, the company changed its name by combining the two acronyms in its previous name, Eskom and Evcom, in 1987 to become known as Eskom. The Electricity Act stated that Eskom could only sell electricity at cost but was exempted from tax, with the firm initially raising capital through the issuing of debentures. Basically, debentures in corporate finance means a medium to long-term debt instrument which is used by large companies in order to borrow money, but at a fixed rate of interest. From 1960 to 1990, Eskom increased its installed power production capacity from 4,000 volt to 40,000 volt so as to keep up with rapid economic growth in the 1960s and 70s in South Africa. Following democratic elections in 1994 and the start of the Mandela government, the company changed focus to electrification because before that, the government did not provide low-cost electricity and they have neglected residential homes. So under the administration of Mandela, he promised that he will provide low-cost electricity for the citizens. Later in 1998, Eskom Amendment Act stated that government's powers to influence company policy and investment decision were greatly expanded. In 2016, Eskom stated it intended to pursue a nuclear solution to the country's energy shortage. So, in preparation, the company has launched a training program for 100 technicians, engineers, and artisans that will certify them as nuclear operators.
Next, we'll move to the next section, which is Eskom competitors. So here, I have listed Eskom top 5 competitors. All these companies have capability in replacing Eskom in terms of generating energy resource. So Eskom, you better be careful. Okay, so we start from below to top. And in the 5th place goes to Eaton Company. So this corporation is an American multinational power management company with a total of sale of $21.6 billion. Wow, that's kind of impressive. So this company was founded in the United States with corporate headquarters in Dublin and operational headquarters in Ohio. It is a power management company made up of 99,000 employees and doing business in more than 175 countries. Their energy efficient product and service help their customer effectively manage electrical, mechanical power, hydraulic power more efficiently, safely, and sustainably. Moving to 4th place. Here we have KEC International Limited. KEC is an Indian second largest manufacturer of electric power transmission tower and one of the largest power transmission engineering, procurement and construction companies in the world. In addition, in 2018, KEC received an award on Green Tech Safety Award for power transmission. Bravo! Congratulations to KC Company. The third competitor is Constellation, an excellent company that providing power, natural gas, renewable energy, energy management product and service for home and business. Provide integrated energy solution from electricity, natural gas procurement, renewable energy supply to energy efficiency and distributed energy solution that could help customers strategically manage and use energy. However, Constellation is more about providing energy. They know that the energy landscape is constantly changing and care about being a good steward. To the end, in addition to the traditional energy resource, they work hard to offer renewable energy wherever possible. Second place belongs to Duke Energy, one of the largest electric power holding company in the United States, providing electricity to 7.6 million retail customers in 6 states. Is an American electric power holding company in the United States with assets in Canada. Eskom first competitors, first enemy is Intergy. Intergy is an American energy company that engages in electric power production and retail distribution operation in the deep south of United States. Intergy owns and operates power plants with 30,000 megawatts of electric generation capacity, including nearly 9,000 megawatts of nuclear power. Intergy delivers electricity to 2.6 million utility customers in an area like Arkansas, Mississippi, and Texas. Intergy has annual revenue of $11 billion and nearly 13,000 employees. For your information, Eskom is a state-owned monopoly economic structure. However, as you can see in the articles, they are having a crisis and the authority tries to eliminate the monopoly title that the Eskom own.
Explain about the government intervention in Eskom. And government intervention in Eskom is very important because Eskom is basically a SOE company in South Africa. And we are looking into 4 main branches. The first is how government financing for Eskom. Second, what is the specific act that Eskom is using. And third is what is the specific procedure Eskom have to follow. And the last one is how government intervention affect the Eskom, basically about the government partnership, how Eskom are having a government partnership, what they are doing and what are the models they are using. First branch is how government financing for Eskom. So in my mind map, I've mentioned 2 different things: is Eskom applying funding models and World Bank loans also a part of financing Eskom. So I will explain about why World Bank and South Africa government involved in Eskom. So first we look into the funding models. Funding models are basically have their basic key points, that is develop cash flow, income statement, balance sheet, forecast. Under funding models, they use a financial model. It create a crucial problem for Eskom when it's come for their project or development, because unsigned and unidentified funding requirements amount to a total funding gap, and it also unapproved capital expenditure had increased the impact on funding requirement over long term. It's also apply for the project and development. Want to know more about the funding gap? I've already mentioned in the mind map. You can clearly see what is funding gap. So as I mentioned, why World Bank loan is involved and South Africa government also become a part of Eskom. So when Eskom is using a financial model, they become crucial, right? So what the South Africa government is do, they become one of the partner in Eskom, one of the partner of Eskom. Why South Africa government become the part of Eskom is South Africa government want to build a Medupi power station. So it's a South Africa's largest power station, and the mainly for the environmental sustainability and commitments. Because of that, they need a company that involved in this power station. But when you want to build a power station, you need a very high amount of money for the building, for the constructions. So what the as a South Africa government has done, the South Africa government has done is that they instead Eskom to take a loan from World Bank for their power station is amounted US 3.75 billion, and government South Africa government guarantee that if Eskom defaulted with 28.5 years final maturity, the government of South Africa will take the guarantee to pay back the loans. And this loan only for this specific project. They are not looking for other project. For this specific project, they want to have this loan. So now we are looking into the second question. Now I am looking into the second branch. What are the specific act the Eskom is using for the government intervention? So before we are looking into the act, you must know what are the key points important for the Eskom. So the key point is that Eskom was convert from statutory body into a public company as Eskom Holding Limited. So this is the main key point before you knowing the act. And the first act is that Eskom Convention Act Article 13 of 2001, the two-third governance structure of Electricity Council and a management board replaced by board of director, which means they have Electricity Council separate and management board also separate, and they comprise two different departments into one and name it as a board of directors. These board of directors have 5 different rules they need to apply when it's come for their duty. They need to use these 5 responsibility. You can see from my mind map itself, and you can read this 5 responsibility. And the second act we are looking into is Public Finance Management. Article 1 1999 was as amended by Act 29 of 1999 in bracket PFMA. And the second act is that Company Act Article 71 of 2008. These two article is basically a parliamentary act. The Eskom has to be followed. Not only Eskom, and other SOE company in South Africa has to apply in their company. Another side note is that Eskom principle is guided by a code of corporate practice and conduct contained in the King Report on Corporate Governance of South Africa. As well, the Protocol on a Corporate Governance in Public Sector 2002. These are the act, and these are the and also the code of conduct the Eskom is using. Now I am looking into the third branch. What is the specific procedure Eskom have to follow? There are 3 main procedure, that is consultation and application phase, connection phase, and quotation and contracting phase. You can see from my mind map, I have already mentioned the stages of process for each procedures. You can look into it, and for more information about this procedure, you also can access through their website. We are in the final branch, that is how government intervention affect the Eskom. So it's basically about the government partnership, how government involved, what are the project they are doing currently. So Eskom already mentioned they have a 5 key intervention by the government. First is Eskom emergency measure, second is cogeneration, third is gas import, fourth is coal independent power procedure, and the fifth is demand side management. These are the project that involved and supervised by the government of South Africa and also Eskom. And Eskom itself have their side project that called Eskom climate change strategy, that also have their own partnership, which means the Eskom partnership, Eskom endangered wildlife trust partnership. They basically want to save the wildlife whenever they want to build a power station or any electricity involvement or anything that involve to a land or to the soil, so it's not affect the endangered wildlife. So they want to have this strategy for the future and also for their upcoming projects. So currently they are doing all these things.